Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Xbox One.
In this brand new episode of the bonus round brought to you by Hyundai, it's all about E3 2013. We're only a few weeks away from the biggest gaming event of the year, and I'm joined by Garnet Lee from Shack News, Andrew Renee from The Escapist, and Alex Albrecht. Now that Microsoft has officially unveiled the Xbox One, what's the reaction of the press and gamers?
To me, what they showed was so wrong-minded. I do not get them showing off. You can watch TV on your new box.
All that and more in this brand new episode of the bonus round. Hey everybody on GameTrailers.com, welcome to an all-new bonus round as we count down to E3 2013. I'm Jeff Keighley, and in the wake of Microsoft's Xbox One announcement this week, we are going to break down what we really thought of the announcement of the next generation Xbox. I'm going to do that with Garnet Lee from Shack News. Great to have you back.
Ready to break it down.
Yes, we got to get to the scoop.
Break
of
it
what really
down.
happened.
Down again.
Breaking it down with Andrea Renee from The Escapist. Great to have you on.
Thank you for having me. I'm ready for the drama.
All right, there's a lot of drama this week, and finally, international man of mystery, Alex Albrecht.
Hello, everybody.
So let's get right into it. Xbox One. I was up there in Seattle, the announcement just this past week. What was your... Let's just start out with something simple. How would you grade the announcement? What would you give them, Garnet?
Oh man, you know I hate doing the grades because the grades are really challenging because it all depends on who you're grading it for.
Right.
But I think that
For you?
for me,
Yeah. Personal grade.
you know, the initial impression was pretty cool because it was sort of like back at CES when you used to have Bill Gates' World of Tomorrow at the very end of those keynotes. You remember that? And they're good at pulling that off in the moment. And then afterwards you go, well, wait, is any of that actually going to work?
Yep.
And as you start to think about that, and then you look back at like what they showed and compare it to what PlayStation showed,
Yep.
and you realize, oh, this was all pre-rendered. There was no in-game. There was, you know, we've all seen the YouTube meme, TV, sports, TV, sport. It's like,
Yeah.
who is that for? Because you had all the games press there. And so I guess my grade would be a C.
C. Okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
and that's
We'll
a
get into little bit more.
nice C.
A nice C. So, right, I think, and what you're saying is that I think what a lot of people felt is that they focus very much on entertainment versus games, and their argument is we have to hold games till E3, and we're going to have a ton of stuff then. But to your point also, you know, a lot of this stuff is sort of, did that switching, was that real when he was switching between TV
Well, I
and
think
games
that was
and all
real.
that stuff?
I mean, if we're going to talk about it later, I won't blow it now, but
Yeah.
TV, to me, what they showed was so wrong-minded. I do not get them showing off. You can watch TV on your new box. First of all, how many people even really care about watching live
TV anymore,
No
right?
one does that. We
You
time
DVR
shift.
it, and
I watch live TV.
Yeah, me too.
Do you watch it when it's on?
Yeah,
Yes,
I channel surf all the
that's why
time.
it's live.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
outside
get it
of-
for sports and things like that, but yeah, regular shows, and that's one of the things. The Verge had a great story about how, you know, you still have to hook your TV through your cable box. You can't DVR things on the Xbox. So we're gonna get into that. But all right, so a C from Garnet. Andrea Renee, break it down for us.
I echo a lot of Garnet's sentiments about the presentation. I'm not grading it as harshly because I was very happy that they actually showed the hardware in some substantial detail, unlike Sony at their reveal.
Right.
And we got to see the controller, we got to see the new Kinect. I'm reserving my thoughts about the actual hardware. If we're just grading the presentation,
Right.
I would say it's probably like a C+, B-.
C plus, B minus. All right, well, it was a tight presentation at least.
Yes.
Just around 60 minutes. Alex, we've got some stuff in the BC range.
Yes.
Okay.
I am a huge Xbox fanboy. Have
Okay.
been since day uno. First off, Blu-ray player,
Yeah.
right? A lot of people bought a PS3. Oh, I see your shoulders, sir. And I will raise your shoulders by
Do
saying...
you watch Blu-rays?
I've not put a Blu-ray into my PlayStation 3s in probably
That's exactly why I said that.
3
Right.
years.
Yeah.
But as soon as I saw, I was like, Blu-ray's in it.
Yeah.
Because that was literally the only reason why I had my PS3s. I was like, it's a
4K
Blu-ray player.
Bluray player. 4K?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you
But
can afford
exactly,
a 4K
everyone's-
TV.
I want a 4K TV. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Since the advent of the original, you know, Xbox, where you can actually solder in a chip that makes it do a hell of a lot more cool stuff with Xbox Media Center and all that stuff, which I did, I've always wanted the Xbox to own my TV. Always. Because it's a much better experience for me switching from games to TV. You know what I mean? Like, and so And last year they announced that AT&T Uverse was going to work with the Xbox 360. I was super excited. Then I found out, no, it just pretends to be an extra, cable box sort of, and you need to like pay to get it in there. And I was like, oh, that's not at all what I was excited about. Then they showed this HDMI pass-through stuff. I've been wanting a device to take over my TV like this forever. I've bought so many crappy, multiple remote controls that you have IR things and they're supposed to control everything. None of those things really work that well. So I was really excited because they were basically talking about the stuff that I was excited about with some of the presentations of the Xbox 360 last E3. Right. So, being able to switch between things, being able to have a sort of second screen on your screen. I mean, the other thing is, TVs are massive now. Yeah. There's so much real estate. And I don't need to be seeing, my hockey or football in full 55 inches.
Right.
Why not?
That's where I wanna
Because
see it.
if I can shrink that down to 52 inches and have rich data that I'm actually excited to interact
You
with.
still have that data on your phone, though,
And
right?
data on
Yeah,
the phone,
second
data on a
screen.
second screen.
Pull it up on your iPad.
So here's the thing. I know the games are going to be great. They showed some of the games side by side. It's going to be better than the Xbox 360, better than the PS3, better than the Nintendo Wii U. So for me, I went, sure, the games, whatever, the games. What I really want to know is all this crazy stuff that it's going to be doing with owning my entertainment
But is
space.
that
And
going to be
that-
enough to convince you to upgrade to the new
I'm going to
system?
upgrade for the games.
Okay.
I'm already going to do that.
So they've already convinced you, because a lot of people said, hey, we didn't see that many games. As Garnet said, we didn't really see any real kind of gameplay on these games.
Right.
You're convinced that the games are going to be such a leap that you're there day one.
Dude, I was going to buy the new Xbox.
Sight unseen.
Maybe 2 years after Xbox 360, where I was like, man, my computer looks a heck of a lot better than this.
Right,
You know what I
okay.
mean? Now it's like, I just know that it's going to be the +1 to all the stuff that I'm already playing on my computer.
So you're in.
I was already
Even if they
in.
blew the presentation.
So
you
I
were
think the
in.
presentation, I would give it a B+ on the Alex. You know what I mean? Like, I could have used a little bit more like NFL, fantasy football stuff. Do I have to pay for that? Live TV, sure, but if you want to watch NFL on your Xbox, currently you have to pay for the NFL right to do that.
Right.
Well, what if I can watch the show on my live TV
Yep.
for my cable cost? Can I do that?
Right,
Now
well,
that
there's
NFL's
TV,
in bed with
there's
Xbox,
apps, how does
is it
that
gonna
all work?
close off those things unless I'm buying the NFL
But what about
access?
the reality check on this switching thing that you were excited about? It's just an overlay. So you are going to have an IR blaster.
Sure.
And it's still going to be just like
Dr.
that.
Cable box,
It's
yeah.
going to be like that experience you described. That's not that great. Only on the most, on a modern cable box that has the latest HDMI compliant standard on it, it will be able to do things like change channels.
Sure.
But it won't be able to run your DVR. And you'll still have to manipulate all of your different inputs if you have like an AV receiver. So I don't see.
Well, no, your AV receiver will just come out HDMI 1 to the Xbox 360.
Right, but you're still going to have to choose things through your, you still have to say you want to play PlayStation 4. You still have to do like PlayStation 4 into your AV receiver, through the pass-through in the Xbox One, into the television.
But that's if you want the. No offense to PlayStation 4, but now that I like Uncharted and all, but I don't know if I'm going to spend that much money to buy a PlayStation 4 when I can probably play it on PlayStation 3
or
for
whatever
a while.
else you have. Any
Right, I
other
think we're saying
devices
it's
to
I
like-
play.
I totally
There's a
agree.
version of this which will obviously make television better for some people, but to your point, it's like the
It's
idea
just
of
an
you're going to
overlay.
call up the guide, and it's you're going to DVR the show last night. You're going to be able to watch that. No, you got to switch to your cable box
Yeah.
and then cue that on the DVR.
Well, the other thing
so-
too is,
Yeah.
boy, they're really relying on this whole talking to your TV BS.
Right.
I just, I mean, this I can get. You know what I
Wait,
mean?
you like the gestures over voice control? I only
Yeah.
use voice control with
Well,
my
first
Kinect.
off-
I never use hand gestures.
Well, first off, I am married, and my wife doesn't want me talking to my TV. She barely wants me watching the TV. So for me going, Xbox HBO, it's like, shut up, use the remote. It works
Well, same thing
fine.
I would say, like even something like Siri, like on our iPhones, like I never use Siri.
use it.
And
Never.
I mean, some
I
people
use
like
I
it,
use the
but-
voice commands on my Samsung Galaxy all the time, almost every day. And I don't know if that's
Well,
just
we're
because
different that
the voice commands with Google are better.
Right.
But I use them constantly.
No, I mean, I think like the voice stuff is nice that it's there, sort of like Siri. Like if you want to use it, it's great. But as you said, I think the question everyone is wondering is like all this TV stuff. How is it really going to work when you actually get it home in your house? And conceptually, I think Microsoft would like it to be able to talk to cable box or become the cable box. It's just that's not something they can do right now.
It's not going to happen. I mean, you look at how fragmented the American television distribution system is. That's just not going to happen. It's why everyone's pushed into that whole over-the-top world.
Yep.
And I really thought that what Microsoft was going to do here would be much cooler and much more future-thinking and say, hey, you know all those over-the-top services? We're going to bring them in. We're going to give you one interface that pulls them all together. We're going to make it easy for you to use all of those things and cut the cable if you want to. Instead, they went just the opposite direction and said, let's wrap the cable
thing that
around
I
this.
would have
True,
liked.
because they had HBO Go in there, they have Netflix, they
But
have
what I would
all
really
those
like
things.
them to be able to do, and I don't know if this is possible, it's like if I want to watch, a show and I subscribe to HBO Go or Netflix or Hulu. So I think Google TV was trying this to sort of basically tell you, like, hey, if you want to
Exactly.
watch
That's
Breaking
what I'm
Bad,
saying.
it's like, well, you can watch
Here's
it
where you
on
can watch
demand
it.
on your
Yeah.
cable, you can watch it on Hulu Plus, et cetera, and find different ways. If I want Breaking Bad Season 3, Episode 2, give it to
And
me,
they
however,
showed, they
of all the
showed a
systems.
little bit of that. I mean,
Yeah.
the hard thing with that is that you've got to have your hands in so many different pies.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the Netflix app, but that doesn't mean that they have access to all of what's going to be on
So
the
look,
Netflix app.
they built 5 pieces of silicon in order for them to go in and do all this crazy overlay piece. If they had spent that much tech effort, they could have easily done an over-the-top solution that would have done this sort of thing. And I think it would have been a lot more future-looking.
All right, guys, we'll hold that thought. We'll be right back here from WP24 Restaurant at LA Live.